On my trips to Afghanistan, I started using opiates. So the use of opium, the use of synthetic heroin essentially, and it just numbed. I used it all to numb everything. We would take Valium, we'd go on patrol, and I'd buy it off the local market. After gunfights and IEDs and stuff, it's just like you're on another level in your mind about what reality really is. And how you can't fuck with me. Like I'm the baddest person on this earth. You have no idea what I've been through and seen. Like, this school ain't gonna be nothing. And I needed that to come bring me back down and say, like, you still gotta work hard, and you still gotta, you too can fail at things. As you know, you might have, language school, nobody, like, you felt language school like that, okay, fine. Like going through SEER school, SUT, MOS, and Robin Sage without any problems, and then go to, I'm like, oh, the same thing will happen. Nah, not so much. So I think there needs to be a not a rock bottom moment, but a time where you come back and say, I gotta try hard still. I still gotta show up.
You still gotta show up and perform. So now, because I know a lot of guys don't know how to deal with this, because our generation, we grew up during the war era, literally like two going on at the same time. I don't think in our history that's ever been a thing. Even as I'm thinking about it, Vietnam, all the world wars, it was one war in just different places, but to have two separate wars going on at the same time, we've learned so much. We've been through a lot. How did you cope with everything that was going on? And what advice would you give to the next generation of warfighters? Because there might not be any conflict going on right now, but best believe it's always lurking, right? So
there's good and bad advice.
Right,
that has to be known, right? So drinking is an acceptable means of dealing with problems in the military. But being excessive and using that to black out and forget the past, you can't continue on with that, because you're not building any good coping mechanisms to deal with stress. And so on my trips to Afghanistan, I started using opiates, and because there wasn't access to alcohol like it is so easy here in the States. So the use of opium, the use of synthetic heroin essentially is the what we have on the teams, and it just numbed. I used it all to numb everything. We would take Valium to go on patrol, and I'd buy it off the local market, and I would just chew Valium all day. And that was like being out in checkpoints by yourself as single Green Beret with 10 other uplift kids with 40 Afghans, and doing your own missions and stuff like that. It was just a lot, and doing that for 30 days at a time.
It was horrible.
It's awesome. But I was an E6. That rank doesn't, but I was 31 years old, and I'm fighting my own little war, and it's all on me. And like, everyone's looking at you. What are you going to do next? And it's just, the stress is real and heavy. And to think about, like, I have these young kids' lives in my hands is hard every day. And so it's not a great coping mechanism to use, different types of drugs and alcohol. But for the time it worked. But it's a trap. And it's once those hooks are in your sides, you're gonna be on a very difficult journey to get them out of you.
Yeah.
And so you start believing that you can take care of yourself by self-medicating and trying to continue that same habit being back in the States, and it's just not possible.
Yeah.
At all.
Now, let's create some magic with artless music, footage, and sound effects. What does an ashtray?
Because I always tell guys, man, and that's one of the reasons why I started the channel, because I want these guys to be aware of what they're getting themselves into, right? Because they see the tab, they see the beret, and they're like, oh man, I want to be like that guy, or I want to go down that route. And I'm like, yes, that's what you see, but you don't see what's, like, you don't see the demons, right? You don't see the other side of what this job will do to you. So I try to share and let them know, like, hey man, you're gonna go through some things that you need to be prepared for. You need to know how to come out on the other end, because if you don't, you can easily lose yourself in there, and permanently at that, right? So like I said, I'm glad to see that you came out of it all right.